Now, let me give you something. Let me give you something else. We also have Samantha Power, and then the House committee has announced that they have found that Fauci prompted a drafting of a medical paper to disprove the COVID lab leak theory. Now, if I would have predicted when we showed you the paperwork and I laid it out on my chalkboard 3 years ago or 2 years ago? 3 years ago, I think.
Well, 3 years ago, we would have just we haven't even gone to lockdown
so
yet.
So 2 years ago, I showed it in the, I showed you the documentation. I showed you the phone call. I showed you who was on the phone call and what was said before it and then what was said right after. And then we told you the person who wrote this article for Nature magazine and how they got a whole buttload of money, as a grant to do some more of their work because that was so important, and that the people who also changed their mind on that phone call also, and I think we said at the time, we're going to have to watch because I'll bet you they got giant grants, and they did, assuming you think $25 million is a giant grant. So now, in a new memo that was released yesterday, the Senate subcommittee on the coronavirus pandemic, majority staff, alerted the rest of the committee members to new evidence resulting from the select subcommittee's investigation of the origins of COVID-19. New evidence released by the subcommittee suggests that Dr. Fauci prompted the drafting of a publication that would disprove the lab leak theory, and that the authors of this paper skewed available evidence to achieve that goal. And Dr. Jeremy Farrar went uncredited despite significant involvement. This is why your subscription to Blaze TV is so important. There is coming a time, and it will most likely be because of a financial collapse. There is coming a time where it is already in the works and already in all of the paperwork and all of the discussions. They've had an Event 201 that happened with COVID. They've done one now for a banking crisis. And the first thing they do is in their own little laid out plan now is silence any voice that is possibly hurting the financial system by reporting stories that are not true and not approved by the government or the financial community. So I think that is probably the last time you'll hear from me, because I will just lose the platform if they do that, because I'm going to tell you the truth. Whatever they tell you to do, run the other way. No. Come on. Everybody into the Superdome. Come on. It's going to be safe in there. It's going to be great. Go the opposite way. Anyway, this is why you pay for the Blaze. And why it's so important, because we use your money to do all of these investigations, and we're way ahead of everything. You're not surprised by these things. And it's why you can spot new problems on the horizon. For instance, this is just out. Ford filed a patent on new technological systems that would allow the automaker to lock owners out of their cars for missed payments. The patent would also allow cars to be repossessed remotely, even enabling self-driving vehicles to drive themselves to a repo lot. Oh, okay. All right, well, that's great. Well, they're just going to use it if you haven't made your payment. If you haven't made your payment, that's all they're going to do, lock you out of the car. All they're going to do is just make sure that your car doesn't work because, you're using it and you didn't pay for it. All it's doing is just going to drive you to a repo lot or maybe a police station. That's it. That's all that's going to happen. What? I pay my bills on time. Oh, okay. Okay, that's good.
Some of the stuff in there too is about making your car only work on work days or only allowing you to go to work because people are saying, well, if you get rid of their cars, they're not going to be able to pay those bills. Well, they could just make it so it only works. It won't take you to the bar. It won't take you to the Knicks game. It'll take you to work, and that's it.
Look, it'll drive you to certain locations, like to buy groceries or to drop children off of school, drive to a hospital for emergencies, or commute to work. But that's it. Now, we have a climate emergency. You really shouldn't drive more than 15 minutes from your house. You want to make a cross-country trip? I don't think so. I mean, I'd love you to, but that's really bad on carbon emissions. So your car will allow you to drive whoever controls your car, which is not you. You can go wherever the car will allow you to go. What? We're not enslaving you. You're free to go wherever you want to go as long as the car approves it. And it's an algorithm. It's really AI is doing all of this stuff. I mean, what are you going to go against the AI? The AI knows. Yeah. And I can't tell you the algorithm, and I couldn't show you the algorithm on what streets you can go on and where you can go, and how you can't drive over to some people's houses because they're on a list, and if you drive over there, then you're on a list, and we just don't want you two to get together. Yeah, don't worry about it. Oh, you're going to that rally, that free speech rally. Yeah, the car won't go there. Darn it, it's going to be a danger, and you don't own the car. And something could happen because we've heard about, do you remember that attack January 6th? That was the worst attack on America since the Civil War. Yeah, sure. We had a Bernie Sanders guy try to kill every member of the House that was a Republican just a couple of years before, but we didn't really cover that. So this was the big one, and we can't let your Ford be anywhere near something like that.
Can you imagine how much different the Canadian trucker situation looks under this regime?
Oh, yeah.
You start driving your truck to participate in that protest, it just doesn't work.
Now, Ford did come out and say, look, yes, we did file a patent for this, but, quote, we don't have any plans to deploy it. Oh. Then why were you working on developing it? You know what? I have built here at the Blaze a computer that will shut down and electrify every chair for every host. And if they say something I disagree with, it will automatically go, the screen will go black for a couple of seconds as I give a shock to the guy sitting in the chair. Now, I've patented this.
That one rolled right off your tongue.
Yeah.
That hypothetical rolled right off the tongue, didn't it?
I've patented this, but I'm not going to use it. I don't think I'd take a job with that person. No, I don't think I'd take a job.
Now, their defense is they file for 1,000 patents every year.
Sure,
and they do. These companies do often patent things they don't wind up getting to. So it's certainly possible. But I think this is obviously the direction this is going.
Right. Trust Ford.
I didn't say.
No, trust them. No, Henry Ford was a good guy. Of course, friends with Adolf Hitler, massive Nazi supporter, and a big progressive. But I'd trust Ford. The Ford and Ford Foundation, you betcha.